Well, hey friends, how are you? Patrick Kirby, Do Good Better Consulting. How are you today? I come up with a new concept today. I know we all have attention spans of gnats, and I have a ton of information that I want to share with you. So, how do we do this? Well, we're going to do 5 fundraising tips in 15 minutes for you. You don't have to wait around for watching an hour. You don't have to register for a webinar. No, I'm just going to give you some cool information. And today, our 5 fundraising tips are going to wrap around video production. How do you use video to fundraise more effectively? And I'm not going to do this alone. I'm going to bring in some experts. I've got Jamie, I've got Casey of Mutts Media here today. Hi, friends. How are you?
We
Hello.
are excellent today. We
Very
are
good.
I
excited
love
for
it.
Giving Hearts Day, and all the nonprofits is one of our favorite days, and so we're revving up and ready to go.
I love it. It's a good time to talk about what you're going to do, how you use media, how you use video. And I think this is kind of great. So, we're going to frame this in 5 fundraising tips. Before we get started, let's do a quick introduction of yourselves and who on earth and what on earth is Mutts Media. And then we'll get rocking and rolling. Casey, go.
Sure.
I am Casey McCullough, Mutts Media. So we do video marketings primarily. We do outside of the box type things. That is our bread and butter is video marketing, eye catching, scroll stopping, video content, and then we do other marketing pieces, of course, and we tie everything together with funnels and different pieces. So we're very excited. But that is Mutts Media, and we've been in sales and marketing for going on 20 years. So we've had different businesses and things where we've ran sales and marketing stuff. And so this is really our wheelhouse, and we just love it.
Nice.
Agreed. And I'm Jamie Lundy, account director, and yeah, having fun.
Brainstorming.
Brain.
That's what
Yes.
I'm bringing. I'm going to give you another title for the whole thing. Okay.
She's
So,
Okay.
the organizer. She keeps us all in line and rolling.
love it.
So
It's
Right.
something.
Yes.
one side of each brain for one.
Perfect. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Starting now, we got 15 minutes to tell everybody else how to use video in fundraising ways. I've sort of brought it out into this. I'm going to start with number one, impact storytelling videos. Okay. So I think a lot of nonprofits are so obsessed with trying to raise as much money as possible. They do the one thing that we should all never forget, which is if I give you money, what happens? So, like that, I think we could start out number one. So, let's maybe talk a little bit about what's an impact video, what's an impact storytelling video, why should we be doing this, and what makes sense for a nonprofit on why they should do this.
Yes, I'm going to preface this a little bit too, and give you probably our biggest key when you're doing an impact video or a video specific for a campaign like Giving Hearts. What we would say is when you're doing these campaigns, specifically set these up so you can not just have these working for you during Giving Hearts Day.
Yes.
We're going to want to set these video campaigns up that they're working hard for you 24/7, 365. And what that means is that we want to build these impact videos in a number of ways, like a 1 to 2 minute video that's going to tell the whole story. We're going to have impacts. We're going to have case studies. We're going to have what your nonprofit does. Really pull at some of the heartstrings and things, not just the money portions. Then what you want to do is we want to break those into smaller pieces, because what we know, and most people would attest to this, is one, attention spans are tiny right now, right? We're talking, it used to be 3 seconds. We're probably looking under 2 seconds nowadays because of what we need is scroll stopping. So we need a hook, but then we also want to have a lot of authenticity and things that's going to pull those in. So when we're talking about those long campaigns, we need to be able to break those down into smaller pieces that tell specifically things like the impact, or maybe it's a case study, or maybe it's a testimony, maybe it's a volunteer telling a story, because that's going to feel really authentic. You really want to break those down. So what we always say is do that 1 to 2 minute video. It can be used for a website explainer. We're going to rebrand it 2 different ways, one for your nonprofit, one for Giving Hearts Day, but then use that for your advantage on websites and everything else, funnels that you're using it 24/7, and then you do three different short videos built off of that, and use those on those three different impacts. So and that's a good way to get 4 different pieces minimum. We say up to 8, but 4 minimum on different pieces that are going to be relevant to different donors, and we really feel that's the biggest impact, and you're getting a lot out of it 6 months down the road. So
Well,
that would be
the
the
best,
biggest advice on that.
and the best part about that too, again, you're acknowledging that, yep, you got an event coming up. Yeah, you've got a giving day coming up, whatever, but you've got 364 more days to fundraise, to explain and recruit and retain the people who really love what you do, or might not know what you do as well, right? If they got into an event specific thing, they're like, well, I don't have any interest in this, or I'm not curious about that. And what I love also too is that it forces a nonprofit to think about what is the best bang for people's buck, and what do people really care about in our mission. A lot of organizations have 1,000 different things that they do, and it's really hard to explain that in a 2-minute video. So what is the thing that will draw you in? What's the attention grabbing program? What's the attention grabbing service that you have as a nonprofit that is interesting to people, that they can latch on and they can move on for the rest of eternity? I love the way that you laid this out. Jamie, this next question is for you. Live streaming on using videos. This is something that either you do really, really great, or just god awful. Can you walk me through this as an idea for going live? You either live stream an event or you live stream a conversation that you have. How do we use video to live stream? Because I don't think it's dead. Do you?
I don't think so. I think it still needs to follow the what Casey talked about before, is it still needs to have a hook. There's a difference between just turning on your live and walking around the room and talking, because people will zone out on that as well. So I think it's having the hook, being prepared with like, okay, this is what I want to get across, have it be entertaining still. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit more creativity versus just, oh, I'm going to do a live, people tune in, and then like, okay, that's good. But it still does need to have creativity and a purpose, but it also gives people a glimpse into our everyday lives. And for some reason, we're all obsessed with watching people do everyday life things. So
It's
I
true.
would say,
And
yeah,
it gives you an authentic and almost relatable bit when you're watching somebody else.
right,
This voyeurism thing that we have on social media now is like, I got a sneak peek
right,
behind the scenes of an organization, behind the scenes of the person who's eventually going to ask me for money. There's something about that that is more connective than it
right.
is of just like this overly glossy looking high production. There's real good value in that. But
Mm-hmm.
there's something intriguing about, God, I got to see a little bit about how the sausage is made. And I'm not
Right,
turned off by that. So I'm kind of intrigued. I want a little bit more. And I think that's
right,
kind of what you're saying too, is it's like, don't be afraid to be authentic and be yourself and give some people a glimpse of who you are, either as an organization or as a person.
right,
Yeah,
100%.
I think I'd add to that. I think the people that do it best are truly have their eyes and ears on things all the time. So like something will pop, like that would be interesting to my my followers or people that I'm looking to. You almost want to target, or you almost want to think about live storytelling as, I have an auditorium of my 5,000 followers or 2,000 followers, whatever. What would I say to that auditorium? Well, if something pops up that's kind of out of the ordinary or interesting or a story, it's having those eyes and ears and just popping on and kind of telling that auditorium full of people that story. That's who does it best, is the eyes and ears.
If
Right,
you are very confused on where to start, and like, I don't even know what type of live that I would do, go back to your social media as you are looking at this. And what are you watching? What do you
right.
click on? What do you save? What are your favorites? That's what
Mm-hmm.
everybody else's are, right? Don't replicate it, but use it as an inspiration piece to sort of like go, okay, I don't have to start from whole cloth. This idea of me doing this video here and giving a glimpse of the background here, that's really where the authenticity comes from. And I think you're going to have a lot more engagement that way in a more authentic place, which actually leads me to the next question, Casey, if you want to go and rock this one, which is social media challenges, anything on social media. How do we determine the production quality of what we're looking to do when we're looking at social media, right? Are we looking to spend $20,000 on a 2-minute video, or is a handheld video okay in social media angles? How do we determine that as a nonprofit, as an organization trying to get noticed?
Yes, I love that. I love that question. I'm gonna come back, but I'm gonna give you one more thing if you're looking at the lives. Another thing on top of what Patrick's saying, a good idea that we'll tell people is, what's your most frequently asked questions? Just ask yourself that. That's what people are wondering. So if these are your FAQs, pop those on. Going back, so the social media challenges and between a high production and popping on your cell phone, it's one of my favorite questions, because what we're looking to do at Mutts Media is we do really well at building what we would call a video arsenal, and we'd call it our key videos. So it's those impact videos, those website explainers, the things that are going to have pieces on your, say it's your marketing funnels and other things like that. But really truly, we try to tell, there's times where we will tell a nonprofit or our clients that that's a better one. That's going to be, if you just pop on a cell phone, that's going to be an authentic story that we really think that you should just get out and have that. So we really request, even when we're talking about testimonials and things like that, we love the big case studies and having like, here's a problem, here's the solution, and here's the result of that problem. Those are really good to have that really nice production, high production value on that. But if it's someone that maybe it's a volunteer and they're just happy to be at your nonprofit and they're spending the day with, maybe it's kids or your activity, whatever it would be, have that person come on and just tell that story, because that stuff is so much better authentic, and you don't want production on that. It feels icky if it's highly produced. So we would request not to do that. So if it's a person that's really, if they have some emotional value, or if there's something that they can tell, let's do it more authentically, because that's going to build trust. And really what you really want to do is build that trust with that authentic video. So once again, I go back to eyes and ears.
Yeah, and the videos that you click on the most and the things that get the most engagement are like the hidden camera to somebody who maybe shows up at the door, the veteran that comes home early from deployment, and it's never a movie cinema quality film. It's always like a hidden piece, because again, like Jamie was talking about, it gives you a perspective or like a point of view that you are a part of that particular adventure or that storyline or that thing. That's what makes this so cool. And I so appreciate a company that has relied on people paying them for production to say, like, our part of our production is to get you to think about something that's a little bit different that maybe requires your phone. And I think some of the different things, and Jamie, I want to hit this too, because you and I were talking a little bit before we hopped on, is why don't people do thank you videos as a part of their fundraising campaign? How come we can't just hop on our phone or hop in a little text message and go, hey, I just want to say thank you? Can you talk a little bit about, I think, as we were sort of curating and brainstorming ideas on this, on the thank you video?
Right. I think that the thank yous can go for, I mean, anything, even customers, fundraising. It's kind of along the same route of just staying in touch with your people. Like your people that you're supporting are supporting your nonprofit, they're supporting your companies. It's a follow through, it's checking in, thanking them. You know, you write thank you cards if someone gives you a gift or whatever. And it's kind of that same concept. Like it really should be, it is a big piece of making people feel appreciated and thanking them for.
I love this idea, and I love the way that you kind of frame that out too, is that but now everyone expects a thank you note, but they don't expect a thank you video. And it's like Casey said, you're outside of the box thinking, and this is so cool and a thing. All right, home stretch, final one in our five ideas for fundraising in 15 minutes. Advocacy and educational content. Casey, why is this so important to do? Why is this so important to get on video as a part of your campaign, your plans to just get in front of your donors and potential funders?
Well, those are huge in general, especially in today's date, because one, people want to know what their donations, and this would even go back to the thank yous, is that they want to know what their donations going to. They want to know the impact and things like that. So what better way than to educate them on what their money's going to, especially the new generation. There's what we've seen, or what, and Patrick would know more on this, but the younger generations want to know specifically what their money is going towards, what we find. So when we tell those stories in the, let's give Giving Hearts Day an example of that. If we can talk about specifics on what those projects are going towards and how that impacts that nonprofit, instead of saying, just give us money, we're going to do really good stuff with it. If we can say, hey, this money's going towards this, which will result in this, and which will result in this, which makes our whole community better and everything else better, we find that the donations are just so much more improved with that, and that all this ties together on stacking different pieces of those impact videos together. And so all of it really leads towards the education, advocacy into those impact pieces, and
it really gives people options. They're not necessarily bombarded with being asked for money. And I think this is what the lesson is in this little micro training that we put together today, which I think is so important, is that everything didn't really tie to donations at all. And it shouldn't, because if you are constantly asking people for money, it is a pain in everybody's rear end that they're going to stop paying attention to you, because that's all you seem to want. You need to educate, you need to advocate, you need to entertain, you need to be interesting, you need to be self-aware. I mean, these are all the cool things that I so appreciate you thinking about, is because when you're doing video production, I think people get really kind of weirded out about it. They're confused about what they need and want. And I think it's authentic. And I think that's really the key to this. And if you look at the clock, we are rocking and rolling with 14 seconds left. And here's the bit. We talked about impact storytelling videos. We talked about live events. We talked about social media challenges, thank you campaigns, and education and advocacy content. And we did it here, folks, in 15 minutes. I love it. One of my favorite things about you two is that you are easily accessible, and you're wonderful to work with, and you're so easygoing, and you're so outside of the box thinking. And I know people are going to be like, how do I get a hold of Jamie and Casey? I want to work with them because that looks cool. How on earth do we do it? Where do we go? What do we look for? How do we get a hold of both of you so we can enjoy being together in Mutts Media world and land, so we can do cool videos?
Yes, easiest, best way is mutts.media. If there's no .com, it's just straight up mutts.media. And then you can fill in a contact us sheet. And what we would start with is a discovery call. Within that discovery call, we would talk about pieces. We have 20% off too, by the way, Patrick, that we always have for nonprofits. This isn't just Giving Hearts, but we're always working with nonprofits, 20% off. We have packages that are very easy to get into, under $1,000. Gets you a lot of different pieces, impact videos, those three smaller shorts. From that discovery call, we'll talk about, we'll send you free ideas on hooks, things like that. We have a process in which we break down ways that we can better understand your nonprofit quickly and easily, and understand those goals. We use that information in ways that Patrick was talking about, and that we're not sitting sales pitching, going donate, 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 but we're going to use strategies to talk to your audience, to make them understand certain aspects of what gets people to tick. And we will focus on those pieces, and we will make recommendations on scripting, directing, the whole 9 yards. So we would love the opportunities to work with anybody out there that has any questions. Mutts.media, just fill in a form, and there we go.
Links are going to be down in the show notes as well, and we'll have you guys on, I'm sure, at another time. Thank you very much for being part of our Five Fundraising Ideas in 15 minutes. This was brilliant. And again, if you've never done video before, don't let it scare you. If it does scare you, call these guys. They're going to make life a lot easier for you. I hope that helped. I hope you learned something. I hope your attention span lasted 15 minutes. Thanks for stopping by. If you need anything, find us at dogoodbetterconsulting.com. And we'll see you another Friday as we drop another 5 fundraising ideas in 15 minutes. Thanks, gang.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.